Hey guys, welcome to week 5 of class. This week we're going to cover collegiate esports. First thing, I know that I have not graded the essays. My bad. This last week was actually a budget proposal week, and it's kind of bled into this one. So I'll try to get those done as soon as possible for you. Really wanting to be able to dedicate the time, grade, and give good feedback, and not just throw a grade on it. So I'll get those back to you as soon as I can. Um, my apologies. But as we get into this topic, I want to say, um, well, I forgot what I was going to say. Let's just get into the topic. So for collegiate esports, obviously this is something that we are pretty familiar with. It was a big portion of the last class that we did in the performance management. Um, you guys, for the most part, live it. Uh, our couple of you, our players on the team, have been are really kind of involved in collegiate esports. So this is something that you know, right? So you'll see why that's important or how we're going to talk about it once it gets to like the discussion or weekly question. But first, I don't know like how in tune you guys are to like collegiate esports Twitter, but there's been some interesting, unfortunate things that have gone on over the past weekend or week. So I got a couple tweets linked that we'll go through. But as we look at the weekly to do, all pretty standard topic again, collegiate esports. Watched this video that I'm currently recording, and then I'm just gonna briefly touch on the linked tweets and stuff, but I'm gonna link each of these to you as well on the same page where the video is. That way you can go through, read for yourself. Maybe you've already seen it. Want to provide those for you, so that you can kind of the big part of understanding the space is knowing what's going on and why those things are going on. So it's something that we'll talk about. And then just complete the weekly assignment. Again, due Sunday at 11:59. So just to hop right into it, right here, cat's out of the bag. ISU, Illinois State, is ending its varsity program. So that's pretty big because as you can see, they're standing there holding a trophy. This has been a very successful esports program in terms of championships. They have a very large facility that they have built, and esports has kind of been a really big thing um, for this school, right? So it's really interesting to see someone post about this, like who's a part of it. So he's talking about kind of his journey and the legacy. He's leaving it behind. One of the most successful Overwatch collegiate programs ever, and after this semester, it's just kind of done, right? So this is a good thread for you guys to kind of look at, go through, and see from the perspective of someone directly impacted by this decision and what they're doing. But honestly, very unfortunate that we're seeing something like this happen. I mean, they build a program, invest quite a bit of money into it for their facilities, for their programs, scholarships, things like that, and then just gone at the end of the semester. So it does make you worry. You hate to see things like this. But we'll get to other links and examples where people are talking about this specific situation and kind of why these things are happening. So next we'll go to seeing a couple, SLU closing its doors after winning CLOL, and now ISU stopping varsity operations. Really puts a perspective on how low winning is on the priority for these athletic departments. This one a little bit weird because, as you can see, Illinois State was not under the athletic department, but like how low winning is on the priority list for colleges in terms of these esports programs, right? A lot of times, if colleges can see esports as a recruitment tool, which is not a bad thing, that can lead to some really great things for the college, for the esports team, for the community. I mean, you can have a really robust and sized program and have a lot of people involved in it, have a great community, and it's bringing in students. And when it comes to colleges and everything that goes to there, I mean, that's at the end of the day, the most important thing is how many students you have on campus. So if you have maybe some of these teams that recruit more exclusively to their varsity programs and are essentially recruiting like a professional team, that can get kind of hard when it comes to um, at least enrollment or filling out the roster size and stuff like that. No matter if you're an athletic team or any kind of team, department, academic area of study, everyone has recruitment goals for how many people they should be bringing in a year. And not to say that ISU or teams like this weren't doing that, but that is by far a very big factor in collegiate esports. And how many people can you bring to this university? Essentially, how much money can you make it? And unfortunately, winning championships in something like esports does not make you money like winning a football championship. So until it's structured like that, and at least from a college perspective, I think it's unfortunate that just winning doesn't necessarily make you safe when it comes to stuff like that. So this next thread, um, this is the director at Maryville. So he was pretty outspoken about this through the week, in the weekend. Really just talking about it all. So here's a good like little list from him. So this stuff will keep happening until we get viewership to stick. That won't happen until we work together and stop looking down on each other. Have to aggregate people who can be mobile and invest and work together to experiment, or nothing will change. Games have to be compelling. This ha- there has to be consistent, coordinated content that is an expectation for schools and competitions. We have to have easy to find, publicly visible websites that host player stats and data, and programs have been getting competition products for way too cheap. Schools have to be primary investors in product at a level that these orgs can invest and grow, not just sustain or slowly bleed out. So he's got a lot of opinions. He talked a lot about it. If you just look at his profile, you'll see what he's talked about over the last weekend and stuff about this. Um, it is a kind of big altogether thing, right? Like we're gonna want people to band together, all like high tides raise all ships or float your boat thing. That basically. So everyone needs to work together to raise each other up and not put other ones down is essentially what he said over the course of the weekend, which I totally agree with. It's just interesting to see. I'm trying to just see this as a professor teaching you guys what types of thing like what this can do, what this means, rather than talking about this as a head coach at a growing program, right? So what we're looking at is um a very a government that is uh, not threatening spending to colleges, that makes colleges worry about their budgets. How much money are they going to get from the federal government when it comes to these things to supplement different programs and stuff? So that has speaking very generally, that has colleges kind of playing defense in some ways, looking at, okay, how can we save money if our budgets are cut? How can we still meet our goals to keep our doors open to get our students degrees? At the end of the day, colleges are about how many people do we have on campus and how can we grow them into better students. So they're looking at things that maybe have expenses um, and aren't bringing in like a lot of math, economics, things like that, right? I can't speak for sure as to why a college would choose to cut a winning program other than budgetary reasons, right? And I think in one thread I saw, and it was all hearsay, like, oh no, this happened for budget reasons and nothing else, nothing personal. It was straight up just trying to save the budget line, essentially. Not, I don't know how truthful that is. Again, you see that on Twitter. You don't really see like official statements about stuff from colleges when it comes to this, or at least in this example. So a lot of things are there and can happen. Um, but that's just kind of current event that I wanted to talk about that doesn't necessarily cover what we're doing for collegiate esports this week, but it was very impactful and a really important part of of understanding the industry is knowing what's going on. So when you see a big program like that shut its doors, you know that it's something you have to mention, have to talk about. And if you guys weren't aware, wanted to bring it up to you so that you can do your own research and kind of see what's going on with it. But as we get into our weekly assignment here, week's topic is collegiate esports. Want to focus this week on the structure of esports in college. So there's a lot of ways that schools can compete, whether it be like NACE, NEC, ECAC, GLEC, those things like that. We've been over all that. That was a big part of the last class in performance management. I want to look at how these programs are structured and what they focus on. So some example of schools that come to mind when I think about different esports structure are like Boise State and Syracuse, kind of looped together. Syracuse still new, growing. I think they're doing a lot of the same stuff. Moving in the same direction as Boise State, whereas they're like very like production focused. They have huge studios, basically almost ESPN level productions when it comes to their stuff. Multiple producers, big wall screens of monitors and stuff where their producers can go through. They have a director like saying what shots and stuff to go to for the camera. You have those. You have a team like Maryville, who I'm a big fan of what they do, how they operate. Very competitive focused. You see them every year in the top level of these things, looking to create more content, get involved with the space, kind of raise others up as well, not just themselves. And MU Esports, I love MU as an example of how to build a great community around your team and win while doing it, and how having that good community can grow your team even further. So I say 4 different models when I was typing this, but really like 3.5 different models and how they operate. You have like production focused, competition focused, community focused. Obviously, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to have a good community. Everyone wants to have good broadcasts and stuff like that. But you can see how they're like structured on those different kind of tiers, right? Obviously, there's more. This isn't all encompassing, but just some good examples for you. Which ones work? Basically, is the question I'm asking. But for this assignment, I would like you to talk about what model you feel works the best for collegiate esports. Is it something that's very production focused, where you can kind of elevate the broadcast, bring people to a different level? Is it something that's more competition focused? You're winning national championships, going to all the big tournaments, you always have a presence. Is it something more community focused and growing your program and different things like that? Basically, if you were put into a role to build a program tomorrow, what would you focus on? How would you, from ground zero, start to build up your program? And what channels would you build up first? You have 0 people involved, you're brought in, let's start this college program. What are you doing? And then how is it beneficial? Like how is whatever model you choose beneficial to growing the program and like what you'll do for it? So give me some good examples. Try to link as many things as you can in terms of articles, tweets, videos, anything like that. If there's a specific example that you look at from the pro side, the college side, um, amateur, like how are you going to build it? Tell me where you've got your ideas from and what structure you followed. Even if you create a combination of a couple of them and like make it as your own structure, you still have inspiration and were inspired by something. So let me know what that is. Other than that, that's pretty much all for the video this week. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll get caught up on all this grading for you guys. Yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week.